Hello, and welcome to the Blood Moon Knights Dojo. And I figure I'll walk around and give you guys a quick tour of the dojo. So this is primarily meant for the new members, but for anybody who's curious about the layout of our dojo, because it's quite vast. So where I stand right now is the Northern Observatory. There are 4 in total in the dojo, one to the west, to the east, and on the south end as well. So from here, we start off going into the large gardens. 1 of 7 in the dojo. We have a nice little volcano fountain here. And to either side of here, you can have access to both the biolab and chemical lab. Moving further down, we have our next large garden, which is connected up to the port side and starboard side temples, which we'll see here in just a moment. And then we have another large garden that connects to our grandest hall through there. But we'll go ahead and make our way west to another one of our large gardens, which connects up to the port side temple. And yet another large garden. And you can all feel free to donate to the decorations you please, or if you'd like to add a few decorations of your own, feel free to as well. The only thing I ask is that you don't disturb anything that's already in place. Thank you. But here we have the West Side Observatory. And if you wanted to get to the Tunnel Lab, all you have to do is come out, take a left, and use the hallways. And each of the labs downstairs has a corresponding transporter pad for quick and fast access around the dojo. I'm not going to use these though, as I just want to walk around and show you guys the full layout of the dojo. So from here, we access the port side temple. And then heading north of the port side temple, we have access to the hallways that lead to the biolab. Here. And the transporter in here is around the back side as well. And across from this, as I had mentioned, is the chemical lab, which takes us through the large garden with our volcano fountain. And through here is our chemical lab, which we have all researchers complete for. And this lab actually has its transporter right here. This is our chemical lab. And to the south of here is our starboard side temple, which then to the east of that is our energy lab through these halls. So this is the downstairs energy lab, and its transporter is in the back here. And to the south of this is another set of large gardens that connects up to our east observatory over here. But moving back to the center of the large gardens, that connects back up to the grandest hall, another way that you can get to is through these faster access hallways, which are connected up to the series of small gardens that run along the grandest and grander hall. So this is one of the small gardens. And through here you can also have access to the starboard side and port side dueling rooms, respectively. There is a dueling room upstairs, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So in here is our clan grandest hall. Very nice. And to the south of this is the grander hall. And either side of this hall, we have our barracks on the opposite side of the small gardens. So in case you're wondering where our troops sleep, well, this is pretty much it. More decorations will be coming later for both the barracks and these small gardens. But if you'd like to see more on these areas, you can feel free to hop in and explore the dojo yourself. Moving on from here, further to the south, working our way down the dojo, we have the main spawn point of the dojo, where everybody comes in. We have a nice little ascension shrine here, which on the top of is a transporter pad. Now behind the transporter is our clan vault, where you can donate credits as well as other decorations to the clan. Things such as this, which I might actually donate a few statues myself in a little while, but we're on a tour. And across the room we have our trading post, where you can trade with other players for parts, mods, things like that. Further south, we have another one of our clan halls. Ooh, the cherry blossoms are finally done. Looks nice. Just a nice little garden walk area, transferring between the first clan hall and the main spawn point clan hall. So this is the very first room of the dojo, where it all began. And to the south of here, we have a cross-connecting hallway that leads to the east, our oracle, which is a requirement in order to have the labs. Just a nice little social room in there. And to the west, we have our south observatory. And I'd like to note something real quick while we're here, since this is the only room that has this. If you do decide to go outside, namely onto the space shrine, do not fall off, otherwise it will cause your game to crash. So please remain on the platforms. Otherwise, slightly further south, we have the access elevator that leads us upstairs. And upstairs is a bit smaller than the first. But up here, we have access to all of the laboratories, pretty much compact. And these are the first laboratories that were installed in the dojo. But here we have our tunnel lab. And these do not have the transporters, as the transporter for up here is in the second labs hall. Biolab here. And then to the north, we have our transporter here in the second labs hall. To the left of that, our chemical lab. And across the way we have a reactor that powers all of our labs. And in the third labs hall, we have our energy lab and our Oricon lab, which you will not find downstairs. Only the 4 primary labs have a copy downstairs with their respective transporters. And to the north of this is the first dojo temple. And connected to this room, to the east, we have the first dueling room. And across the hall we have access to the 3rd floor, which we'll see in just a moment. But then this way, we have our regular obstacle course, so feel free to try your hand in here and see how well you do. Work on your parkour skills, and get a taste for what it's like to maneuver through Warframe. And we do have a custom obstacle course, which we'll get to in just a moment as well. Now, as I mentioned, to the west we have access to the reactor core, the 3rd floor, which also houses our custom obstacle course, as you'll see in just a moment. So up here, it's primarily just a bunch of reactors, as you can see, on either side going all the way up, and on the south end as well, is capped by a reactor. But as you can see on the map, the north, we have a very large room, and that is our custom obstacle course. So feel free to use the teleporters to get around, and if you'd like to take a shot at this bit more difficult obstacle course, it'll definitely help you in your parkour skills and understanding maneuverability in Warframe. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this dojo tour. And before we end, I'd like to mention to my members, there's a challenge going on that you may not be aware of, but there are several, well, many Buddhas placed all throughout the dojo, and I challenge you all to find them. I know how many there are, but do you? The first person to find them all, take screenshots and show me where they are, and correctly guess how many there are in total with their appropriate screenshots, will win a split chamber. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tour. As always, have a fantastic rest of your days. Happy farming, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.